Hello everyone, this is Katya with Lunar Sun Creations, and welcome to day one of the Valentine's Day Alcohol Ink card series. Okay, so today we're going to start off pretty easy. I'll show you the supplies I'm going to use. So I've got some Yupo paper from Tim Holtz, Ranger. It is a like almost like a plastic kind of paper. It's not really a paper at all. It's a synthetic substrate. So it's a very non-porous, kind of like a slippery surface almost. So the alcohol ink will really move on it. Then I've got some alcohol blending solution. So that is going to help to move my alcohol ink around my page. And then I'm going to turn these into cards. So today I'm going to be doing an alcohol lift ink technique. And then I've got a little dauber, like an ink dauber, and I've covered it just with some craft felt, not foam, but just like felt. And then I've got a what do you call them? The stamp. You put your stamps on and use it. I can't remember what they're called. Why is that completely leaving my brain? Anyway, it's a long stamping block. There we go, just stamping block. And I've just got some felt taped around the edge of it. All right, and then the colors I'm going to be using today are both from Ranger. I've got watermelon and crimson, so just two different shades of red. So I want to do some really deep red backgrounds today, and then we'll turn them into cards. Okay, so that is the materials for today. So let's get started. So I'm going to try and do three backgrounds. I might not turn them all into cards. We'll see how we go. Okay, so I'm working on a tonic glass mat so that I don't make a massive mess and it's easier to clean afterwards. So we're going to start out, this is a 5x7 sheet of Yupo, and I'm going to take my little pouncer brush and just put a few drops of both the watermelon. Oh, actually, before I begin, I'm actually going to remember, I just got my nails done, so I don't want to wreck them right off the bat. So I'm going to put these super sexy gloves on. So fashion statement right here. That's right. Okay, now we're ready to go. So I'm going to put a few drops. You won't be able to see it. Sorry, I don't have any white felt. I only have black felt, so you're not even going to be able to see this, but trust me, it's there. And then a few drops of the crimson. And then I'm going to put a little bit of blending solution on my dauber as well. Okay, and now I'm literally just going to pounce this on in like a little bit of a twisty motion. I'm going to put just a tiny bit more ink on because I want this to be really deep, because the alcohol ink lift, the alcohol link, wow, try it one more time. Alcohol lift ink technique works best when the background is quite deep with color, quite dark with color. So let's try I might have put too much alcohol or the blending solution. I'm going to try with a little bit less. There we go. It's a little bit better. Okay, so I'm just going to pounce it on, and it kind of creates like a mottled kind of effect. I'm going to bring it up so you can I bring it up so you can see it? Oh, gloves make everything so much more difficult. Jeepers creepers. Oh, the struggle is real. There we go. So I've got a little bit too much alcohol ink blending solution, I feel. So Let's see if I want it to be a little bit more mottled, if that makes sense. I'm going to take a paper towel and bring up just a little bit of that ink and take a little bit of it off my dauber because I want it to have a little bit more texture. There, that's a little bit more of the effect that I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of set that aside to dry. I think we need some more contrast, so I'm going to stick with the watermelon, but I think I might add a tiny bit of blue and see if we can get some purple in there. I know blue isn't traditionally a necessarily a color for Valentine's Day, but you know, I don't think that really matters, does it? Okay, I'm gonna try with the what did I call it? The block. So I'm putting a little bit of the watermelon. Actually, let's put it in a couple swats. Oops, jeepers. Didn't mean to do that. Making a mess. And I'm going to use some Baja Blue and see if we can create some purple in there. And a tiny bit of blending solution on there. And then I'm just going to kind of run it across my piece. And I want it to blend a little bit more. Too much blue. So, that watermelon isn't working to blend as much as I wanted, so I'm going to add some crimson. And a tiny bit more blending solution. Okay, let's try that. There's a little bit more of the purple that I was wanting. So, I mean, you can go straight across, or you could do like cool effects like that. I think I want to do one like this. Gosh, getting these up off the thing again is hard. So I really like the way that looks, but I'd like to do one just with red. So let's go with some Kelty ink red, or yeah, why not? Kelty ink red. And some currant, maybe. And a tiny bit of blending solution. Now let's try it again. Oh, it's still got quite a bit of that purple, still got quite a bit of the blue on there, but I didn't clean it quite well enough. It's kind of cool though. I quite like it. You can use fancy little pokey tool to get that off my surface. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. So I'm just going to put a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, just 99%, onto my work surface just so I can clean it off. Get that out of the way. Let's just get this back to clean again. Okay, so I think I'm going to keep these two the way they are. I think they look quite cool, but this one doesn't have enough of an impact, I think. So, but I do want one that's just quite red. So, let's see what happens if I just put a little bit more blending solution. There we go. That's a little bit more what I was after. Okay. Perfect. That's kind of more what I was going for. Okay, so that was kind of two completely different effects, but what you can do with felt, I mean, there's so many things that you can do with the felt. You can just do simple stripes. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. I want one more that's like quite red. So I want to do stripes. So I'm going to take this off and put some fresh felt on. Okay, I found some green felt, so you might be able to see that a little bit better, so let's try that. So just cutting off a strip and taping it to my block. Just using just regular Scotch tape to do this. Okay, so maybe you can see this now a little bit better, so let's go with some crimson again. So now you can see it a little bit better. So I'm just gonna put some in like little stripies. Oh shoot, should move these out of the way so I don't completely wreck them. And what other colors should we go in with? I want to keep it mostly red. Have we tried the currant yet? I can't remember if we tried currant or not. Let's try it. Just a little bit deeper purple, or deeper red. Oh gosh, Katya. Didn't I just say to get these out of the way? not listening to my own advice. Okay, and then some blending solution. Okay, now this one, instead of going wavy, I'm just going to go straight across. You can also use like a sponge to do the same kind of technique, but once again it's too much the same. So what if we went in with a tiny bit of white or some mixative? Mixative? Let's go with some mixative. Let's do some copper or gold. Okay, so shaking up my gold mixative, and I'm just going to put a few little bits here and there. It's pretty potent, so don't want it to go too crazy. Let's see if we need any. Yeah, we need a little bit of blending solution on there. It's subtle, but I kind of like it. I'm going to add just a little bit more. There we go. That's kind of neat. Just playing around, but that turned out kind of cool actually. Kind of looks like a little bit checkerboardy almost. Okay, I'm just gonna clean this up and I'll come back and we'll make some cards. Okay, so I've got my Misty stamping tool and I've got a Simon Says stamp center cut heart stamp that I'm going to use. For the first card, I'm just going to use the outer part. So this center heart comes out. So for the first card, I'm just going to use this part and I'm going to use this background. So I'm going to put it in my stamping tool. I'm just going to switch it around here. Alright, so I want the stamp to be in the center, so I'm going to line it up how I want it. Okay. Got my stamp where I want it. I'm going to use my embossing buddy and just give it a little wipe down because sometimes alcohol inks can be a little bit sticky, so I want to make sure that all the ink stays where I want it. Okay, so now I'm going to ink up my stamp with the alcohol lift ink. And it's a big stamp, so I'm going to press down really firmly. Okay, and now this stamp has a little bit of that ink on it, so I'm just going to take, I don't want to waste it, so I'm going to take another piece of Yupo paper that I'll use later, and I'm just going to kind of try and take off some of that ink. And then we're going to take a paper towel and we're going to blot wherever that ink went. And we're going to stamp it a couple more times. Be careful not to move it too much, because I want this to really pop that stamp. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up again. Got too much on my crafting table right now and things are kind of avalanching. Oh, there was still some ink on there. Oops. Okay, and I don't think I'll be able to line this up again, but I'm going to try. No, that didn't work at all. That's okay. This might have been better on a slightly less, a background that had less going on possibly, but that's okay. That's all right. Okay, I'm just going to do it a couple more times, the same process. I think that's probably as good as it's going to get, but I think it looks really cool. Okay. I'm kind of tempted to cut out the heart. Okay, well, while we have the stamping tool out, let's do some more with it. Okay, so I'm going to use the center part of that heart on this one. So I'm going to kind of, just to have it a little bit above center, so I'm going to put a sentiment down there. Okay, and again use my little buddy. And ink up my stamp with my alcohol lift ink. Oh yeah. That one's pretty awesome. I'm going to do it one more time. That turned out really cool. I like that one. And then for this little guy, what should we do with it? Okay, so I think I cut this one right in half. So I think I'm going to use the shape of the heart, and I'm going to cut a heart out of the other half of it and raise it, kind of like raise it up a little bit. Okay, so here are the cards that we created today. I did a little bit off camera. So with this one where we did the ink lift technique, I just took a die cut. It's Painted Hugs from Simon Says Stamp, and I cut it out 4 times and glued them all together so it has a little bit of dimension to it. And then I added some Nouveau Dream Drops for a little bit more dimension. It got some lines of dots at the top and the bottom, and then kind of outlined the heart. If I'm being honest, I totally grabbed the wrong one. I thought this one was the one that would be white because I wanted to add some more white instead of just having the hugs in the center. So I did it all before I realized that it was this one. Still looks really cool though, but it wasn't. I was looking for a little bit more white. Anyway, I like it though. I really like it. And then we've got this one. I used the same Nouveau drops to decorate the heart, and then stamped You Are In My Heart in white ink from Hero Arts, and I used the Savvy Sentiments from the Colorado Craft Company. There's a whole bunch of Valentine's Day sentiments on there. I'm going to use this one quite a bit throughout the card series. And then this one, that one background we had the gold, I kind of like went like this with the block on the edge to create those little cool little lines. So for this one, I wanted to cut the heart out in the same piece of paper, so I cut it right in half so it's a little bit smaller matting than the other ones, and then I cut out the heart in double matted it in black and gold, and then popped it up with some dimensional foam tape. And it's a good thing that I do not get paid to fussy cut, because geez, even just cutting out this heart, it is so off. Not my thing, apparently, cutting straight lines. And then I didn't make a card out of this one, but this was our last background that we did. I really like this one. I kind of decided, I almost made a card with it, but I decided I wanted to keep it like this so that I could refer to it in the future to do more like this. All right, so those are our cards for day 1. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that maybe you learned something. It's I don't know. I mean, I'm just playing around, but I think they turned out really good. So hopefully you do too, and you give these a try. All right. In a couple days, we'll be back with day 2 of the card series. So stay tuned for that. Tap that bell icon if you want to be notified when every video of the series comes up. Okay. Love you all. Have a great day. Bye.